wasn't even his area, was it?
No, ma'am. It was out of the Marble Falls area.
Was he just that kind of person?
He was.
Okay, and so, all right, first off, let's start with what happened that night when Chief Phillips disappeared.
We received a soup alert, which is an alert to all the command staff that his vehicle had gone off the road, and we activated our team to come into the command post. Those that could get here, some of us couldn't because of the weather already having risen so high, and we responded into this room where we had our command post set up.
And then, so his vehicle was swept off, but he was en route to do what?
We had a report of two males, because of high water, trapped in a tree. And so we were he was en route to that, and several of our deputies were en route to also assist. And that call, I believe, came out at 3:58 a.m.
And so he's en route, but then his car gets swept away.
Correct.
Was that off of Cow Creek Road?
That was off of, I believe it was 1431 at Cow Creek.
Okay, at Cow Creek. All right. And from then on, has anyone seen him since, or?
No, ma'am. We've continued to search for Chief Phillips. We had 5 fatalities, and he is the remaining missing person.
Okay. And that wasn't even his area, was it?
No, ma'am. It was out of the Marble Falls area.
Was he just that kind of person?
He was, and I'm not extremely familiar with the chief. I had met him. I do know him, but I'm not really that familiar with his. I know he's been in the Marble Falls area for a long time.
Right.
Very beloved.
Yeah, and just kind of, like you said, what were you saying about always a smile?
Always a smile on his face anytime you see him, and that's one of his, that a lot of people mention that one of his characteristics.
All right, so what has the search looked like since he disappeared and the others disappeared?
Sure. So the process was, we were receiving names of people that were potentially missing, and we worked through those to clearly identify whether they are missing, and those that we were also able to, that were initially reported missing, that we would go do a welfare check at a residence and positively identify that they were not missing, that we either found their vehicle, we found an ID, we found a backpack that contained their information, and they were aware that those items were missing, but they were not missing. And so we confirmed that they were alive and well. We also, as I mentioned, through the process, eventually had 5 that were confirmed fatalities, and 1 missing, continued to be missing. We've searched. We treated it as 2 command posts, one out of the sheriff's office and one out of Faith Academy. And we found our last missing person on the north part of the county on Monday evening. And so Tuesday morning, we combined the 2 command posts at Faith Academy, with the lone missing person being the chief. And we have used an enormous amount of resources with the local law enforcement, local first responders, fire and EMS, with state entities, the Department of Public Safety, Texas Parks and Wildlife, LCRA, the National Guard, a couple of different task forces assigned to those, along with a variety of resources that they bring, and all these entities bring, with whether it be drones, whether it be cadaver dogs, and Black Hawk helicopters to assist us in the search, and have continued to search through the date he was missing. We have now tailored our research, our search to a very specific area, and utilizing drones to give us more information to be analyzed.
You do get to a point where just doing the ground searches and the boat searches, it's just not paying off, right? You know how I mean.
Sure, you're going over the same. You're going over the same properties or same locale time after time, and you're going over them with drones, and your search changes depending on how many days. So early on, we were using drones and boats. Once the waters went down, boats, it's a creek. Boats don't work in creeks. So we then had to go to boots on the ground and cadaver dogs, and the drones were able to search tree level and below tree level, and believe me, we used a bunch of different agencies and drones searching the area with a variety of different teams with specific targets, whether they were looking in the northern part of the county for the two that were missing still from the north part versus the ones that were in the south part that were missing, and separated those with identified search teams looking for those individuals.
And where do you think the chief is? Or do you have any way to know?
Don't know. He can be there. We do have an idea of where he went off the road, and so that we've got a starting place, and the direction of travel down creek. We have recovered a number of items from his vehicle. We've recovered his vehicle, but also as the vehicle is moving down, it's a piece of a bumper here and a headlight here, and a variety of different pieces of his vehicle, as well as where the final spot was for his vehicle. We also have items from either in his vehicle or on his person, items that were personal items that we knew would have come through from his vehicle. And so we were able to get all those items that were recovered and get coordinates for those and plot those on a debris map, which is also something that we utilized just this weekend. I mentioned earlier that we're moving to a few different methods of search, and those are primarily using drones in a different manner. And so on Friday and Saturday, we had a drone team from New Braunfels PD along with our drone team go out to the site, and the first thing that they did is Friday and a good part of Saturday, they mapped the entire area from where the vehicle went into the water to Town Lake, basically all the way into Travis County. After they mapped, that was the first mission, was to map it. The second mission was to utilize a piece of equipment on drones called LiDAR, and LiDAR stands for light detection and ranging. And what it does is it creates a detailed 3D representation of the surveyed environment, and it's also called a point cloud. And it uses that with sound versus, with light versus sound, and it renders us a map or a location, ability to use those data points and build, looking for anomalies in the ground. And LiDAR also has the capability of going through or shooting through vegetation, soil, sand. It doesn't do large objects, buildings, walls, large rocks. It won't, but it does. It will be able to penetrate into sand and dirt areas to a point, and that's kind of what our hope is that we're able to identify targets using the LiDAR, analyze the data that was sent in, analyzed to send us hotspots that we can go search. And then the last piece of that is a piece of technology, a software technology that's experimental, that a particular drone company had come to us and advised us that they have the ability to send it to 3 local universities. They send the information in, analyze it, and send information back. And the third part does it does a mapping. It has to be during the day, and they also have to map it at night to allow for the earth to cool. And then it compares the images with daytime and nighttime on heat sources from within the ground, and we'll use those. As I mentioned, we've searched above ground with all the resources that we have. We've searched we've had cadavers hit on spots that we've searched. We found unfortunately a lot of dead animals that the cadaver dogs are going to hit on, and so a lot of the searches while it did produce it was a purposeful hit. It was a snake or a raccoon or whatever animal it may have been.
Gotcha. So these three universities, do I take it it's UT and maybe Texas State, or do you know?
I do know the three, and I'll maybe get back with me on that if they allow me to provide that information.
Okay, you got it. All right, so these universities, so they're sending you back information. When will you get that?
Well, sure, and so as I mentioned, they were out Friday and Saturday. The information that by combining New Braunfels PD with our drones and a third-party drone company or individual that brought his resources in, he is the person that had the contact with the universities and personally contacted me on Friday that we set this up with. They came out Friday and Saturday and mapped it and used the LiDAR. Well, as soon as they were done with that, because they had now had the contact with the universities, he had them send the information straight to the universities. So that information has already yielded a complete map of a mapping of the area. It has also yielded a debris map of where each item was found from the vehicle and from his either person or from the vehicle itself. So it's already been helpful in identifying those. Now we can also, not that that's going to be the only places we can find it, but that is a debris field of where we have found items, and so it's a good target area for us to include, and they felt it was also a good target area, so they specifically mapped it for us where all those items were.
But you say not to get your hopes up, right?
Both entities have told us this is a long shot, and it's a long shot because this type of information or the software that is being used is purposeful for a totally different reason. They're saying we may be able to use it. We may be able to use it, and it's experimental. It's not a proven source. However, it has been successful, and so there's a difference between let's say an investigation for a murder where somebody has purposely buried a body versus nature causing that to bury, and so there's different characteristics of each, and the software has the ability to differentiate between anomalies in the ground and heat from the ground from those type of searches.
So you're saying it's designed for somebody who might bury somebody 6 or 8 feet deep.
That's correct.
You know, a recent murder or something.
That's correct.
Foul play. And the difference between nature coming in could be pretty profound.
Absolutely.
Like you say, rocks, just...
And if you may or may not have seen the images of the chief's vehicle, it was totally buried. Only pieces. So it's sticking out that you were able to, and had to be dug out. So that's a large item to be that far down into the debris. And you're talking cedar trees and other trees, just all the vegetation that was out there, the rocks, the sand. It's a very sandy area. So in a lot of the areas where the water's turning, you have large areas of sand deposits. In touring it, you see large 200-pound rocks that are in sand. That's not normal for them to be placed in that position, and so they're placed there by the power of the water.
Right, so they're just kind of hoping they can make it work.
We are hoping that the information sent to the universities, once they analyze it, that they will provide us with a list of targets and coordinates for us to go actively search. And so that might be one target, it may be 10 targets. We don't know. We should know. I would think we would know fairly quick. They did the night's drone flying last night. Started at 2 p.m. last night, and they finished this morning at 7. So. But they had already analyzed the other information, so they're quick with it. We got it to them on Friday and early Saturday, and they already had us a mapping and a debris field by Saturday morning. So they're quick with getting the information to us. We're hoping that they'll be as quick with getting the information that was shot overnight last night also to us, so that we can get after it tomorrow.
But you're not 100% yet.
We do not know whether we'll have 1 target or 10 targets or potentially 0 targets of hotspots to go search.
And you're hoping to do it tomorrow, but if they don't get it back to you, it might be Thursday.
That's correct. That's correct. We've got teams built. We're ready to go as soon as we have the data. It makes sense that if we get it today, that we start in the morning so that we can we have a full day to go out and put boots on the ground again and dig and search these areas.
Do you know anybody else who's using this technology for these searches and for flood victims?
There are. We had a LiDAR set up to come out Thursday, and it was en route and was canceled. So there are others that are using it. I would imagine that they are using it in Kerrville. I'm not positive, but I know in talking to the gentlemen, the individuals that I've dealt with New Braunfels PD and the individual, they have teams elsewhere, not just with us.
Okay, so and this is a good chance to try it out. It does seem, and the other 5, they were easier to find. They were not as deep, I'm taking it.
Not necessarily. We found, if I remember correctly, on Saturday we recovered 2. On Sunday we recovered 1, and on Monday we recovered 2. And the last one that was recovered was located Monday night at about around 6:30, 7:30 at night. And before they could actually get to them, they had to call a dive team to come out to get him. Before they could actually identify and realize that it was one of our missing, I was not notified until a little after 11 that night. So that's when we changed tactics and moved everybody to Faith Academy. And this remained operational, but it was primarily private, the emergency management teams and TEDM and those were here. We had a presence in here from law enforcement, but all the search teams and all the command were operating out of the Faith Academy.
Do they still operate there, or do you kind of have it more just with the drone?
We have, with how far we have gone into the investigation, we have, we can't thank Faith Academy enough for opening up their school and for the amount of time that we had their school. But we felt by Thursday that we had utilized our space there as much as we needed to for as much as we needed to at that point, and that the next items that we were trying, the drone data, we did not need as big of a presence. We are going to have a pretty good presence depending on when they call us. We'll have a pretty good presence go out there, but it will not be the heavy Humvees and the National Guard. It'll be local entities that are out there that will be digging and searching.
What haven't I asked you that you think people need to know?
That a tremendous amount of good happened with the recoveries. Barnett County alone, out of the sheriff's office, handled 63 responses and rescues. And the 63 does not accurately depict the total of rescues. Some of those rescues had 2 and 10. One in particular had 20 rescues at a site. And so that 63 were 63 calls that we went and actively did a rescue. We also had, I believe, 180 calls for service between the hours of 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. the morning of the 5th. That's a lot of calls, and the good that happened out of it is we were very coordinated with all of our local entities, with the state entities, with our county assets, and with all the other county departments that we work with. And I believe that we hit it early, and we were on it quickly, and that was beneficial. There were a lot of people rescued from treetops, from roofs, from attics, from cars. There were a lot of rescues, and so that's not being reported as much, just because It's not the there. A lot of questions are how many have died and how many are still missing. But here, 5 and 1. But the big number was 63 rescue locations that we went to go rescue.
And with probably 100 and some odd.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe button and get the latest news by downloading the CBS Austin News app.